In the previous session of Valmiki Ramayan, we discussed when Vishwamitra, along with Sri Ram, Lakshman, and many other sages, they were on their way to Mithila. When they were almost about to reach Mithila, Lord Sri Ram observes a very beautiful place in the outskirts of Mithila. It's an ashram, Puratana, very old, ancient place he observes, which is very neat, clean, attractive, enchanting, but nirjana, no human beings he finds. He becomes very inquisitive. He asks Vishwamitra, which is this place? Why is it deserted? Why no one is visible? It appears there is ashram, but no one is there. So, by hearing this Lord Sri Rama's question, Vishwamitra becomes very excited to answer him. So he starts speaking about a great lady, Ahalya, and her husband, Gautama. He says this is the Gautama Rishi's ashram. He was living with his wife Ahalya here thousands of years ago. And he also tells the story of Ahalya. Ahalya was an extremely exquisite, beautiful woman created by Lord Brahma himself, the supreme creator of this material world. Not only she was beautiful, she was also with all good qualities. That's why her name is Ahalya. And she was so attractive with all good qualities that King of Heaven, Devraj Indra, he was desiring to marry her. But Brahma married her to Gautama Rishi by seeing the character of Gautama Rishi. And so on one fine day, Devraj Indra disguises himself as Gautam Rishi, comes early in the morning, and he has an association with Ahalya. And Ahalya, she knew who has come as not her husband. She is able to detect it is actually Devraj Indra. But even then, she cooperates with him. She pleasures with him. And then she tells him, quickly go away. My husband may come back at any time. So when Indra was going back, Gautama Rishi comes, sees this, and he curses Indra. He curses Ahalya. So we heard this much. So in today's session, we will hear the details about this. So after this incident, that Gautama Rishi gave three curses to Indra. First of all is said, you are very proud that you are king of heaven. You are like an alpha male, that you think that you desire some woman and you can just get her, you can satisfy yourself. So I curse you that you lose your masculinity from today onwards. You lose your purushatva. That is first curse of Gautama Rishi on Indra. The moment Gautama Rishi cursed like this, immediately Indra's testicles fell and he lost his masculinity. Purushatva, he lost. Second thing, Gautama Rishi gave curse to Indra that we find in Uttarakanda was that you are also very proud of your position, that I am the king of heaven. I am the controller of everybody and everything. So I think in this position I can do whatever I want. Looks like you have such mentality. So your post will be temporary. You will always be in worry. Who will come and attack? Who will take away my post? And in fact, you will lose your position. Somebody will come and defeat you. Because Indra is a very great person. Big devatas report to him. So he's a very king, he's a great king, very powerful. So nobody can actually defeat Indra before this. But Gautama Rishi cursed him. And that's how Indra was defeated by Ravana's son Meghanada in the future. And he got the name Indrajit. Indrajit, the one who defeated Indra. So this is all because of Gautama Rishi's curse. The third sharp Gautama Rishi gave was, from now onwards, if anybody does illicit affair, a man or a woman, if they perform an illicit affair, that papa karma, 50% share will come to you. What is that papa karma? If a man or a woman in Kali Yuga, if they have an illicit affair, the result that scripture says, papa karma, is that the duration of that yuga. What is the duration of Kali Yuga? 4,32,000 years. That much duration you have to suffer in hell, in Naraka. So that's the punishment. So now Gautama Rishi said 50% of that will come to you. If 100 people do that, so 50% of 100 people's papa karma will come to you. So this is for doing all this. You came in my form. You destroyed my family. So this is the curse Gautama Rishi gave. So what is the first result? Indra has lost his purushatva, masculinity. So the moment he saw this, now Indra told, this today we will understand, there are a lot of points to discuss, understand very carefully, because all people who are involved in this episode are all very great personalities. Suddenly we should not try to bring these people to our level and think, see Indra, he did like this. See Ahalya, she did like this. No. Especially when great people, we have to very carefully, in detail, understand. So Indra is saying, Apalastu tatakshakro devagni purogaman abravi tasta vadana harshi sangan sacharanan. So he lost his testicles, which is the cause of his purushatva, and with frightened face, he is talking to all the rishis and he is addressing them. And he is saying, Kuruvata tapaso vignam Gautamasya mahatmanaha. He's saying, why did Indra do this kind of an activity first of all? He's such an elevated person. He is the king of heaven. All devatas are reporting to him. He's such a glorious person. Why did he do this kind of an unglorious activity? Right? He is giving the reason why he did like that. He's saying, Kurvata tapaso vignam Gautamasya mahatmanaha. Krodamutpadyahi maya surakaryam idam kritam. Surakaryam idam kritam. I have achieved the task of the devatas. I have completed the task of the devatas. Devatas wanted something. From this incident, I have achieved it. By making Gautama angry and by making him give me curse, I have achieved. Some Devata Karya I have achieved. Devata Karyam idam. This is Devata Karya. Devatas wanted it. What is this? What Devatas want? Right? So, it is mentioned. So, Gautama Rishi has done tapasya. And when you do tapasya, you get punya. Whenever we do tapasya, we get punya. But one interesting point that we all have to understand. Okay, first of all, there is punya, pious, and there is papa, impious. From punya, we get positive merit that gives many positive things in our life. From papa, we increase our suffering, dukkha, problems, all that. So tapasya brings punya. Tapasya brings punya. So general idea is that more punya means more good. This is the general idea. But what scriptures say is that everybody is allowed to accumulate punya as per their capacity, as per their capability or capacity. The moment you accumulate more punya, more than your capacity, that becomes problem for yourself and for others. You cannot handle more punya than your individual capacity. So here, Gautama Rishi had done tapasya more than his capacity. And as a result of that, he has accumulated more punya. Right? Very carefully we have to understand. So first of all, papa karma we should not do. That everybody knows. हमें पाप नहीं करना चाहिए. We should not do papa karma. So what about punya karma? Oh, punya karma we should do. But we don't know. Punya karma beyond our capacity, if you do, that is also not good for us. More power, more punya than our capacity can create a disturbance in our life, in our own sadhaka's life. So Gautama Rishi is a good person. He's a devotee. He's like a very great devotee. Gautama Muni Sampujita Ram, it is said. He's very dear to Lord Ram. He's not a bad person. But he has done more tapasya, more punya. So now there is more punya with Gautama Rishi. And what can happen with more punya? With more power and more punya, sometimes you may become a disturbing element in the universal administration. I'll give one simple example to understand this concept. It is allowed by government for all of us, if it is required, we can carry a revolver for our self-defense, for our self-protection, right? So what if you are having some 1,000 revolver with you? I can keep on security guard, no problem, right? I can say to protect my home, to guard my home, to guard my compound. So I have kept on security guard 2, 3. What if you kept some 10,000 army with you like that? You may say, no, for my protection I've kept. So what is the problem? Do you think government will allow? If you are saying I'm maintaining some 10,000 army with me, just my own army, you may create disturbance tomorrow in the administration. Like it happened in Haryana or Punjab, in one of the states, there was one person, some god, self-claimed god man. So he had so many thousands of people guarding his place. And when the government told police to go and arrest him, so his people are not allowing the police to go inside, arrest him. So it can create disturbance, right? So the point is that when you accumulate more punya, you may misuse that more punya. Why this misuse? The moment it is more than my capacity, I get this misusing tendency. If I get more than my capacity, there is misusing tendency. So to help you, it should be taken away. It should be taken away. So now somebody may say, oh, we didn't know this. That means, should I do punya or not? We should definitely do punya karya, punya karma. But according to our capacity, we should do punya karma. According to our capacity. Not more than that. If I try to do, like for example, somebody thinks, I will do a lot of punya and I will become God. That is not possible. It is just not possible that by accumulating more and more and more punya, I will become God. Not possible. Right? So, like that, one has to understand you can accumulate punya to serve God nicely. But you can't become God with your punya. So, according to our capacity, we can accumulate punya karya. Now, Gautama Rishi is one of the Rishi. So, he has accumulated more punya than his capacity. So, this is a concern for Devatas. This is a concern for Devatas. So, they all go to Indra Deva and they request Indra that please go and reduce the punya that Gautama Rishi has accumulated. Please reduce it. So they have requested Indra. That is why Indra has come. Deva karyam idam. He's saying, I have achieved Deva karya. How did he achieve? He has achieved by making Gautama Rishi give sharp curse. Okay, if Gautama Rishi gives sharp, what will happen? Very interesting. These are all spiritual signs we should know. How do we lose papa? How do we lose punya? We should. How do we get papa? How do we get punya? At the same time, how do we lose papa or how do we lose punya? All these things we should know. So, if you want to lose your papa, sinful reaction, papa, right? We all have papa karma, sin. So you can lose that. You can get rid of it by doing charity, by doing dhan. When you do dhan, your papa, you're giving to the person who is receiving dhan. Let's say I've accumulated papa, some sin. I've done so many wrong activities because of which I've accumulated papa karma. Now I know this papa karma will bring suffering for me. It brings problem for me. I'll have to suffer because of papa karma. What will I do? How do I get rid of it? So you can get rid of it by doing dhan. So when you go and do dhan, and the person who receives the dhan, he has received your papa karma now. So when you say charity or dhan, it is nothing but papa transfer. Transfer of papa. Somebody comes and says, I want to give you some 1 lakh rupees donation. And you receive it. So you're receiving all the papa karma of that person. How much ever involved in that. So the person who is receiving dhan, charity, should know this. When I receive charity, I am receiving the papa karma of that person. Then who can receive it? Who can receive? Those who are capable of receiving somebody's papa karma and destroy, they also know how to destroy. After receiving it, how to destroy that papa karma. Only they are allowed to receive dhan. Not that is why people think, oh, I just go out and do dhan to anybody and everybody. The person who receives dhan should be potent, capable of receiving your papa karma, digesting that papa karma and still not be affected by that. So who are those people? Qualified brahmanas, Vaishnavas. Because of their tapasya, sadhana, they are engaged in sadhana, tapasya. Every day they have tapasya, sadhana. And that sadhana, tapasya destroys the papa karma that comes with dhan. If you don't do sadhana, you don't do tapasya, you're only receiving dhan, then you, along with the dhan can be many, many things. And it's a very detailed philosophy. If you want to, give away one particular papa karma, then what you have to do? Charity. If you want to lose one kind of papa karma, there is some kind of charity you have to do. some iron, this metal, iron metal, you have to do charity. To lose something, different type of papa karma, some different type of item, you have to give charity. The person who receives, like for example, this Sade Sati, Sade Sati. Right? Somebody is going through Sade Sati, very bad time. Bad time is nothing but papa karma is giving you fruits. So at that time, if somebody is going through Sade Sati, this Karma Kanda section says, you simply go and donate iron, that metal iron. The one who receives that much Sade Sati, they will receive there. So those who know this, they are looking for donors. They want to donate iron. Nobody receives iron. Those who know this. No. Nobody receives it. Because this is how you get their papa karma. So when you do dan, you're also doing the transfer of your papa karma. The one who receives is receiving the papa karma. So if you don't do sadhana, tapasya, simply take dan, then that papa karma has come to you. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, he told even devotees in the temple, if they don't do sadhana, tapasya, what prasadam they are eating? Finally, this prasadam is coming from where? Some people are coming and saying, I will do annadan, I'll sponsor dinner, I'll sponsor this, I'll sponsor. It's a dan. So they gave dan. Their karma has come. Their papa karma has come. And you cooked and you offered to Lord. Oh, it's prasadam. We are all eating prasadam. Even if it is prasadam, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, you have to still suffer if you don't do your sadhana and tapasya. That will still affect you. You can't say simply it is prasadam, freely it has come in my plate. You see somebody gave, let us happily eat the feast. No. You are taking their papa karma. You have to chant. And he has specifically told in Kali Yuga, Harinam Sankirtan, number 1. Number 2, you have to preach to others. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Harinam Sankirtan. Then your papa karma of the other person gets digested. It will not affect you. Otherwise, you may be a devotee. You may be eating prasadam. It's still papa karma will touch you. You have to suffer disturbance, problem, falling sick, disease. You see how complicated it is done. That's why those who come only for prasadam, don't attend class, don't chant Hare Krishna mantra, don't attend Sankirtana, simply going and having prasadam, you are eating not only just food, also some papa karma of the other people. See how dangerous it is. When you attend class, Shravanam is a tapasya. When you chant Hare Krishna mantra, tapasya. Do some seva, tapasya. No, prasadam, I'll just eat. I'll come last and I'll just eat prasadam, I'll go away. No problem. You took somebody's papa karma and went off. See how dangerous. So, how do we lose papa? By receiving dan. By receiving dan, you get papa. By giving dan, you lose papa. How do we lose punya? Okay, I've got punya. Punya is something good. How do I lose? How do people lose? So, when you quarrel, or when you curse, when you scold, when you chastise people who are superior to you, you lose your punya. Like for example, if you are a son or a daughter and you are fighting with your parents over, all your punya karma is lost. This is how people lose punya. Punya hani happens when people, when they get angry, scold, pick up quarrel, misbehave, ill-treat those who are superior to them, superior by age, superior by knowledge, superior by spiritual realization, superior by certain position. With them, when you do durvyavahar, you lose your punya. That's what Indra is doing. So by cursing Indra, Gautama Rishi lost his punya karma. Gautama Rishi, according to the hierarchy of the universe, he is below Indra's position. Indra is superior to Rishi. All the Rishis report to Indra. They are not above Indra. It is like Indra is like Supreme Court judge. Gautama Rishi is like some lower court judge. So this is the kind of a hierarchy. So by cursing Indra, who is his boss, who is his superior person, so by becoming angry at Indra, who is superior to Gautama Rishi, Gautama Rishi lost his punya, which devatas wanted. So when you give sharp to Indra, you lose your punya. So when you misbehave, when you do anything wrong, when you do any durvyavahar with superior people, you lose your punya karma. You lost it. So one has to be very careful. This is how we lose punya karma. So what should I do when I see some senior people, superior people, they are doing something wrong? If you are inferior to them, if you are younger to them, it is none of your business to correct them. If you try to correct people who are superior to you, you lose your punya karma. This is not the universal order. Everybody can be corrected by somebody who is superior to them. If Indra does mistake, Lord Brahma can correct him. Gautama Rishi cannot correct him. That is the order. No, I will not tolerate. I will not tolerate any mistake. Whoever it is, whoever is doing, I want to correct them. If this is your mood, according to Shastra, you lose all your pious credit. That is why Indra is saying that Sura Karya, Devata Karya. So in this Devata Karya, Gautama Rishi has accumulated more punya, and that more punya is taken away by Indra by making Gautama Rishi angry and making him give curse. So we understood how do we lose our papa? By giving charity. How do you get papa? By taking charity. How do you lose punya? By trying to correct, by chastising, quarreling, misbehaving, ill-treating our superiors. You lose your punya karma. How do you get punya karma? By doing punya karma activity, you get punya. There is another way. When people who are above you, superior to you, like guru, teacher, when they scold you, when they correct you, when they chastise you, their punya will come to you. It's a good thing. When parents correct children, when they scold their children, it is a blessing to children. If the children protest it, oh, why are you scolding me? Why are you doing this? You should know, according to the universal order, when the superiors correct you, chastise you, when they punish you, or when they curse you, even they curse also, they scold you, it is good for you. You will always get their punya. That should always be accepted as Mahaprasadam, like we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Indradyumna Maharaj. Agastya Rishi comes. Indradyumna Maharaj was doing Mauna Vrat. So Agastya Rishi became very angry that when I come, you are not welcoming me nicely. You are not even talking some good words, telling me Swagatam, Suswagatam, come. You didn't even tell what kind of behavior it is. I curse you. You become an elephant. He cursed him to become Gajendra. And Indradyumna Maharaj folded his hands, accepted. Thank you. He didn't say anything. It is a blessing. In the next life, when he became Gajendra, Supreme Lord Narayana came and delivered him. See this? When the superior curse you, correct you, chastise you, it will always be good for you. So many examples. Lord Shiva, Mother Parvati cursed Chitraketu. Oh, you're laughing at us. you become a demon, Vritrasura. And in that Vritrasura, he was delivered. So always when you are corrected by some superior, you should not be upset. Oh, they scolded me. They corrected me. Nobody should correct me. I'm so great. I'm so perfect. If they are superior to you, especially if they are above you, you should welcome it. That's always good for you. But if you are not superior to somebody and you see they are doing mistake, you should just, it is not your job to correct them. Maximum what you can do, you go to their superior and you can complain, but you cannot try to correct them. You cannot try to make them all right. If you try to do, you will lose your punya. So this is the whole background. It's a Vedic understanding. But directly those who read this, they will not understand. So here, Indra is saying, Kuruvata tapaso vignam. I created vigna for Gautama's tapasya. And this is what Devatas want. Gautamasya Mahatmanaha. Gautama is doing tapasya, because of which he is getting more and more punya than his individual capacity. Kuruvato vignam. I have created obstacle. Krodam utpadya. By making him angry. When I made him angry, he became angry. He cursed me. He lost his punya. Even Vishwamitra lost his punya by cursing Rambha, by doing many things, many times. So the moment you do all such things, you lose your punya karma. Surakaryam idam kritam. It is Surakarya. It is Devata's task. I have achieved it. Why Indra came and did this Ahalya Gamana? Why this incident happened from Indra's point of view? Because they have to make Gautama Rishi lose extra punya that he had accumulated. One more clarification. Here we need to understand, what is this? Looks like punya is also some problem. Papa is a problem, we know. Punya is also a problem. We thought punya is good. First, let us understand, there is papa, there is punya, there is bhakti. All three are different. Punya is not equal to bhakti. Punya is not equal to bhakti. Punya is material. Bhakti is spiritual. Papa, punya, both are material. Out of the two, punya is favorable to your bhakti. It is favorable, but it is not equal to bhakti. So we should not get confused in our mind. What is this? What we are supposed to do is, we are supposed to do more and more and more bhakti. Punya is as per your capacity. Bhakti is as per the soul's desire. How much I want to please Krishna, no limit. You can go on, please, keep pleasing, keep pleasing, keep pleasing. Bhakti is what? Bhakti is making God happy. Bhakti is making God pleased. Krishna is happy with me. That is bhakti. Punya is not like that. Punya is some positive material credit. Like for example, you are in the jail. You are in the jail and you behaved well in the jail. So they told you that tomorrow we will give you 2 bananas. Everybody gets 1 banana. So because you behaved well, we'll give you 2 bananas. This is punya. What is papa? Papa means everybody gets 1 banana. That also you will not get tomorrow. This is papa karma. I lost it. Punya karma means I'll get something more. But did they send me out of the jail? No, that is bhakti. When you do bhakti, you will go out of the jail. When you only do some here and there nice little good things, okay, instead of 1 banana, we'll give you 2 bananas. Instead of 1 apple, we'll give you 2 apples. So, you should be careful. It's not that you do so much punya, like, sometimes, this is a very funny thing. Sometimes they'll give you some voucher, 70%, some points will be there in that. They say to withdraw it, you have to do something. Imagine in the jail, you have accumulated some 1,000 points. So if you want to use those 1,000 points, imagine in next 10 days you are getting relieved. But if you want to use those 1,000 points, you have to extend your stay for another 2 years. So will any intelligent person like to extend their stay just because some 1,000 credits or points I want to use in the jail? So punya is not so important. Bhakti is important because it is sending you out of the jail. Isn't it? So bhakti is different, punya is different, papa is different. So here we are only talking about punya, which Gautama Rishi got through his tapasya. And Devraj Indra, he wants to take away the extra punya of Gautama Rishi that become disturbance for Gautama Rishi's sadhana. Gautama Rishi's good whatever activities he's doing, he's actually helping him. Also helping all the devatas from unnecessary threat this Gautama may become. So this is the Sura Karyam or Deva Karyam that Indra achieved in this episode. But what happened? The Gautama Rishi has given sharp, right? Unless Indra accept that sharp, he will not lose his punya. If Gautama has to lose his punya, so Indra has to accept those sharp. Now, is Indra obliged to accept those sharp? No. It is like the police constable is telling, I am dismissing the police commissioner of my state. I have dismissed him. I have dismissed you. So your order has no power over the commissioner. So there is a hierarchy. So in that hierarchy, Gautama Rishi's sharp on Indra has no impact on Indra. Indra is no need to go through whatever Gautama has told unless he agrees to go through it. If someone else who is below Gautama Rishi, then it will happen. They don't have choice. They don't have choice. Isn't it? If Indra agrees to accept the sharp, then Gautama's that extra punya will go away. And that's what they want. So Indra accepted. How many sharps, how many kars Gautama Rishi gave? 3. And now we understand from Valmiki Ramayan, Indra accepted only 2 out of the 3. How many? 2. That means he had the power to accept curse or not to accept the curse. That is his post, that is his position, that is his power. He accepted only 2. The third one was anybody who does illicit affair in the material world, their 50%, Papa karma will come to Indra. Indra did not accept it. It was not needed because how much punya is supposed to go away from Gautama Rishi, that was sufficient for 2 curses. The first curse was Indra loses his testicles, which is the source of his, purushatva, masculine. So he accepted it. Second one was, you will be defeated. Your position, you will be defeated. Right? So that also he accepted. But the third one he did not accept. So when he accepted, he lost his purushatva, testicles he lost. So then Indra called all the devatas and he told, see, for all of your devata karya, I did this. I have lost my purushatva. Now all of you restore my purushatva. Now actually Indra is capable of restoring his purushatva, masculinity. But even then, he is asking devatas to do that, to accept seva from them. Right? So when he said this, aphalosmi kritastena krodat sachina nirakrita shapa mokshena mahata tapasyopahritam maya. He's saying that by Gautama's anger, I have been deprived of my testicles. Ahalya has been deserted, rejected by Gautama Rishi. He has lost his tapashakti, punya shakti by giving this sharp. That's what they wanted. So he's saying, oh rishis, oh all the sages and devatas, now you do something so that I will get my purushatva. Now after hearing this, all the sages, devatas, they're sitting and discussing. Now how do we undo it? Shatakrator vachana shrutva devasagni purogama. Shatakratu is another name of Indra. Hearing Shatakratu vachana shrutva, hearing the words of Indra, these devatas like Agni and other Marutas, they discussed and they all went to Pitru devatas. There are devatas called Pitru devatas. So this Pitru devatas, they approached Pitru devatas with one goat, Mesha. Mesha means goat. They approached the Pitru devatas with that goat and they requested Pitru devatas that, O Pitru devatas, Ayam Mesha Savrishano Huvrashana Kritaha. Meshasya Vrishano Grihya Shakrayashu Prayachataha. They told that Pitru devata, the testicles of this goat, you please give to Indra. In that way, Indra will get his Purushatva. So what is this? All these things require a certain understanding of a Vedic scripture, proper scripture. So, among all the animal, the highest fertile animal, which can create maximum number of offspring, is for two animals. One is for this goat, other one is deer. They produce a lot of offspring. Many children they keep giving birth. And this Mesha, goat, is offered to Pitru Devatas in the Pitru Puja as their offering. So Pitru Devatas, why Pitru Devatas? Why are they going to Pitru Devatas? Generally, the doctors among the Devatas are Ashwini Kumaras. Ashwini Kumaras are medical doctors. They are the one who does all the treatment and all. Why are they not going to Ashwini Kumaras? They are going to Pitru Devatas. Or you can go to the Dhanvantari, the Supreme Lord, who is the master of all the medicine. So he can help Indra to gain his virility, gain his masculinity, Purushatva. Why are they going to Pitrus? Because Pitrus in the Vedic culture, in the Vedic science, or in the Vedic understanding, if anybody want to get children, it is possible only if the Pitru Devatas are pleased with them, if they are happy with them. So it is a Pitru Devatas blessing that anybody gets children. So if somebody do not get children, so they are recommended to do Pitru Karya, the Pitru Paksha Puja. If the Pitru Karya has not happened properly, they will have some, getting children, all that problem they'll have. So Pitru Devatas are responsible for it. So this Agni, Marutas, they approached Pitru Devatas and said, this goat, which is there, this Mesha, has got that Vrishana. Vrishana means testicle. This testicles of the goat, because it has got highest fertility, that you give to Indra. And you accept the goat without the testicle. And you bless people, whatever you are supposed to bless. In that way, you can be pleased with that. So Pitru Devatas agreed for that, and they took the testicles of the goat and they attached to Indra. So from that day onwards, Indra got another name called Mesha Vrishana. Mesha means goat, Vrishana means testicles. Indra, who has got the testicles of the goat. See this? He regained his Purushatva in this way. Now, why are you, Papa, in this, all this, why are you harming the goat? Somebody may say. Right? See, you people did some problem, because of which, why are you harming the goat? What is the problem with the goat? See how people are attacking the animals. Some animal lovers may say this. So again, we have to understand, this is all because we are today illiterate about Vedic culture. So this Mesha, this goat that they have selected for this purpose, not some ordinary goat. In the Vedic time, whenever you use any animal for sacrifice or yajna, that is not any animal. You simply pick up some animal and bring and you cut. Like today people say that. We are offering this, some different religions have different names. So they say that for Devi or for some god we are offering this. No, that is the wrong culture. Then what is that? What is the right culture? In the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. It's only for these three yugas. In these three yugas, there are some Atmas, there are some souls, they have desire to offer themselves, their body, their life in some service. Like for example, today when people die, they have a desire that I want to donate my eyes. That's their desire. They have such desire. There are some people, when I die, all my organs should be donated. That's their desire. But this is the desire after they die. There are some people, they want to offer even when they're alive. That is their desire, that is their consciousness. And they're born for such activities with their own willingness. There are certain souls, they do tapasya, they take birth. Just like some people say, there are some lot of medical experiments going on. There are some research and development going on. I want to offer myself to be experimented so that our country will get benefit, so that humanity will get benefited. Like when the COVID disease was spreading and they were experimenting this vaccine. So they said, we want to experiment on somebody first, right? It cannot directly come on us. First, some people have to receive. So who will agree to be experimented? Some people said, I volunteer so that the whole humanity will get benefited. So there are such people, there are such souls who have that magnanimity to be engaged in the universal beneficial activities. They want to offer themselves. Such souls with their tapasya, with their desire, volunteer to take birth like this. Such animals you have to bring for this kind of activity. When the Agni Devata, Marut Devatas, when they approached Pitru Devatas, they approached Pitru Devatas with such a goat. That goat had such desire that I should be used in this kind of universal Devata Karya. That is my desire. So they brought such kind of a goat. Not any goat they saw and they picked up. Okay, now let us harm this goat. No. So in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, this kind of power was there with Brahmanas, sadhus, rishis. They knew there is one scripture called Samudrika. The Samudrika Shastra tells how to recognize such animals who are born for such purpose. Not that, you have some vaccine research development center, you simply go to market and pick up some people and put them into laboratory and start experimenting. No, they should volunteer. They should volunteer. Like that, who volunteers to be offered in sacrifice. Such souls, such animals we should bring. Such animals are allowed to be offered in the yajna. Not any animal. And that too only in the Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga. In Kali Yuga it is banned. Such thing is banned. Ashwamedam Gavalambam. It's banned. So then what? First of all, the Brahmanas or sadhus, rishis or kshatriyas, they should know, okay, here is the Ashwa. I'm doing Ashwamedha Yajna, and here is the horse, and this horse has all the Samudrika Lakshana, and according to this Lakshana, this horse is born. They should be able to see that soul, that it is born for that purpose. In Kali Yuga, in this Ghora Andhakar, Tamas, Ajnana, we don't know who we are. How will you detect other animals? Oh, this animal is born for that kind of work. We don't know why I am born. I don't know what is my life. I don't know anything about myself. I am only trying to figure out. People at 25, 30, 40 years, they're saying, I don't know what to do in my life. I don't know who am I. I don't know what's going on in my life. So that's why Kali Yuga, all this kind of things are banned. It is not allowed. We cannot imitate all these things. There were such great rishis. They knew. They would tell, this is that animal. It is born for that purpose. Such capability, right? So like that, such kind of a animal was brought. So who is like now some people say we are kshatriyas, we can eat meat. Some people say like that. It is not for Kali Yuga kshatriyas. Nothing is allowed in Kali Yuga. In the other yugas, again Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, kshatriyas were allowed to eat meat only in this Pitru Karya time. That too only goat meat. Not that any animal I see and I start thinking how to eat this. Pitru Karya, to offer to Pitru Devatas, because Pitru Devatas accept only goat meat. Oh, goat meat, bring any goat. Not any goat. The goat which is born like this, for this kind of purpose. Such goat you should bring. First of all, you should go and detect and bring such goat. And such goat when you find, when you offer, it's so nice. It is like you find some donor. Like somebody is looking, is there any kidney donor and all. We are not getting. Somebody is able to find such a donor. It's such a nice thing. So like that, if a king or a kshatriya finds such a soul, he is ready to donate itself, its life. So they offer to different devatas because that soul likes to be offered. Such kind of an animal, such kind of a soul, a kshatriya should detect and bring. Such kshatriyas are not there. So as a prasadam in the Pitru Karya, in the Pitru, that whatever, Pinda, whatever we do, there it is allowed for you to eat meat. Such animals meat, not that simply we can eat meat. That is number one. Number two, Brahmanas, there are some specific Brahmanas, again only in Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, those Brahmanas who perform Kshatriyas Pitru Puj. And like, what kind of Brahmanas? Like Agastya Rishi. Even if they eat that kind of what, again it is a big topic. To offer to Pitru Devatas, you cannot directly offer. You have to offer to through sages. So sages accept on behalf of the Pitru Devatas. And the sages accept that goat meat. But those sages, even though they eat that goat meat, their Brahmanatva will not get affected. That is a kind of capability those tapasya, that Shakti, this Brahmanas are not, it's not for again all Brahmanas. Even during that time, forget about today. So there are a lot of such details are there. Right? So that is why, because I'm explaining all these things to you, when you directly read Valmiki Ramayan, here it is said, all the Agni Devata and Marut Devatas, they approached Pitru Devatas with a goat and told Pitru Devatas that you take the testicles of this goat and give it to Indra. So why did they first of all take the goat? And is it that they harmed the goat? No, this is the entire background. Right? So we should be very careful that meat eating is not allowed in Kali Yuga. For anybody it is not allowed. And which kind of animals were offered? Only those animals who wanted their own life to be offered. They volunteer themselves. Those who knew how to detect such animal, such people were allowed to do. This is all banned in Kali Yuga in the scripture itself. So Indra received his masculinity, virility, his purushatva. Right? So he became again known as Mesha Vrishana. And this is how he explained to all the Devatas that because of Gautama Rishi's Adhika Punya, extra tapasya, more than his capacity. So he had to go and make Gautama Rishi get angry and give shap. And because of the shapa, Indra accepted those curse. Because of that, Gautama Rishi lost that extra unnecessary punya that he had accumulated. Right? So it is Surakaryam idam. I have achieved Devata Karya. See this. This is the background. You cannot simply say, see, Indra is so lusty. He simply, he saw Ahalya, very beautiful woman. He thought, let me go and enjoy. There's so much of background for all these things. So now the question comes, okay, Gautama Rishi did Adhika Punya. That is his mistake. It is his mistake that he is not supposed to get extra punya. He got it extra punya. To make him lose his extra punya, all the Devatas made a plan why Ahalya has to be brought in between and used her for this reason? Doesn't it look something wrong? Unnecessarily, you dragged Ahalya into this. She got sharp because of this. Bahusahasrani varshani vayu bhakshanam adrishya sarvabhutanam. Gautama Rishi gave the curse. Don't be visible to anyone for millions of years. Vayu bhakshanam. You cannot eat anything. You only keep breathing. That's all. Adrishya sarvabhutanam. You will not be visible to anyone. So why Ahalya was cursed? Why she was punished? Between Indra, Devata, Gautama, and among all of this, what is her mistake? Was she used as a pawn in this? Or was there any reason? What is the background of Ahalya? How do we now, we understood Indra's participation. We have to understand from Ahalya's perspective. Like this, every personality is involved here. There are 4 people involved. Gautama, Ahalya, Indra, Lord Sri Ram, who finally delivers Ahalya. So was she culprit? Did she do any mistake? Or there was no mistake of Ahalya in this thing? Unnecessarily she was cursed, punished. So we'll discuss about Ahalya in the next session of Valmiki Ramayana. So we'll stop here. Shri Valmiki Ramayana ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.